Why are some men intimidated by women in the workplace? What kind of inequalities do you see there, and how can they be helped? How can you have men help women in that way?
So, I have been in the professional workplace for 35 years, and what I have observed is some men have what experts call a fixed pie mindset. There's only so many promotions to go around. There's only so much money to be made. There's only so many projects to be a part of. And men sometimes feel threatened by really smart women who they know are smarter than them, but they don't have the wherewithal to invite them to say, listen, can you show me, teach me, help me? Because it means that I'm less than and she's more than. So that fixed pie mindset causes a lot of men to operate from a scarcity mindset. Let me hold on to what I have, because if I move to an abundance mindset, oh my goodness, what am I going to lose? But when you move to an abundance mindset, you don't lose, you actually gain. Because when you really begin to work with a woman in a respectful way in the workplace, two heads are better than one. She can see what you don't see, but together working on a project, that organization benefits from two different brains weighing in on how to be the solution. And guess what? If she has the better solution, you don't lose, everybody wins. Because a woman, when she shows up in the workplace, I believe a woman is wired to make sure everybody eats. And I don't mean that in a derogatory sense. She's gonna make sure everybody benefits, not just herself, because of how she's wired. And sometimes men, we're very linear, very like, me, and not all men, but some men. So if you're gonna thrive in the workplace, number one, how do we ensure that we do right by women? Number two, how do we ask them, how do they see things? All the research says when there's truly gender equality, a business is more profitable and productive, especially when they have women who are leading or co-leading the conversation. So men have to recognize, right now, all the research says that there are more women in college than men.
Wow.
Professor Scott Galloway at the NYU Stern School of Business says that we might be moving to an underclass of men. Because who are these women going to marry if they are more getting ready to graduate from college than men? So what men have to recognize, if they are going to come into their full potential, what would it be like to ask a woman for help? That doesn't mean that you're less of a man. A woman, if you give a woman a vision, she will give you strategies and tactics. If you give a woman a sentence, she will give you a book, because of how she's wired. So I believe what has to happen right now, men in the workplace have to say, if we are going to be relevant in the future, how do we invite sisters to help us? Here's what the research says. If you look back almost 60 years ago, there were a number of companies that lasted on the S&P 500. Those companies would last for about 61 years. Now, companies on the S&P 500 will last about 18 years. And I believe women is the solution that companies need to say, sister, how do you see it? What can we do? How should we be thinking differently? Because a woman takes a 360-degree view of a situation, whereas a man, we sometimes just have a linear view.
Wow, that's amazing. I think everybody should hear that.